evening. A grim episode played out today in Hamilton's struggle with homelessness. Police and bylaw officers moving in this afternoon to evict 6 people from their encampments in Bayfront Park. And the people who were evicted say they can now be spending their nights on the street. Al Sweeney is covering this story for us and joins us live from Bayfront Park with all the details. Al.
Matt, this is where one of the tents was until just a short time ago. Under the city's recent bylaw, tents aren't allowed in the parks anymore. But the people who were living here say the issue is, where are they going to go? In mid-afternoon, with city workers taking apart an encampment, a homeless man with a supporter and 2 of his dogs sobbed as he watched his tent being dismantled. The city workers, with police support, were enforcing the bylaw against tents in Hamilton parks. They'd warned people living in 2 encampments in Bayfront Park that they had to leave. For John Phillips, it's part of a series of evictions. In February, he had to leave a house on Kenilworth Avenue that had serious electrical issues. He wound up in Bayfront Park.
Nobody seems to have answers on what we're supposed to do here. And we were forced out of our house by the city and everything.
Pierre Petrie lives in the city's tiny homes community, but was at the park today supporting his son, who couldn't move to the tiny homes.
They're taking him out of his home to put him on the street. That's my understanding.
The Hamilton Encampment Support Network says for some people, these encampments are the only option.
At the very least, if people are able to find some form of relative stability in an encampment, you could make life easier for them and not make life harder for them. There's nowhere to go. And so if you know that there's nowhere for them to go, why are you forcing them to leave the little bit of stability they've been able to create for themselves, imperfect though it is?
There is community support for the bylaw to get encampments out of parks.
I think it's necessary. I think it has to happen. Members of this community were told we'd get back our parks, and no sooner had they cleared an area of the park and 2 tents popped up.
By afternoon, bylaw officers and police were enforcing the move order.
We are on our own. We got to get our stuff out and figure out what we're going to do and where we're going to stay. And that, once again, City of Hamilton puts us homeless.
Where are you going to go tonight?
Don't know. Maybe the street corner. Don't know.
These folks have nowhere to go. They're all on waiting lists for something or the other. We know the statistics that we don't have enough shelter beds. Even if shelters were good enough, we don't have enough shelter beds for the number of people who are houseless in this city. And knowing all this, they're still enforcing this kind of stuff.
So the city said today it has expanded its shelter system by 80% and is committed to safer housing solutions for vulnerable residents while it develops long-term solutions. It also says bylaw enforcement is a top priority here at Bayfront Park.